Hi friends, welcome back. Today we are going to solve another very important and very popular Facebook coding interview question. It's on Leetcode 301, remove invalid parenthesis. As you can see here from like dislike ratio, this is another quite likable and important hard coding problem related to the parenthesis. So we are going to solve this problem today. If you haven't already subscribed to this channel, please subscribe to this channel now. Also click on the bell notification icon button right away so you won't miss any important postings from this channel. So let's start. Given a string S that contains parentheses and letters, remove the minimum number of invalid parentheses to make the input string valid. Return a list of unique strings that are valid with the minimum number of removals. You may return the answer in any order. Okay, so this is what the problem says. So s dot length will be between 1 to 25 inclusive. S consists of lowercase English letters and parentheses, opening and closing round brackets. There will be at most 20 parentheses in S. Okay, so this is what the problem says. So let's take a look at some examples. So this is one of the examples, second example. So if you look at this example, then the minimum number of parentheses. So let's just copy this example. We can take it here. So we can discuss it here. So this is the example, right? So okay, so this is the given parenthesis string. So now we have to make it valid parenthesis string, but we can remove minimum number of parentheses. So I can remove this parenthesis, right? This parenthesis, and then it will give me a valid parenthesis string. So it will look like this if I do that, right? So this is one possibility that we can do. The other possibility that we can do is remove this parenthesis, right? So if I remove this parenthesis, then it will give me like this basically, correct? This string, correct? So this is also another valid parenthesis string, right? So this is the minimum number of deletions. How many deletions did we do? One deletion, correct? One character we deleted, or parenthesis we deleted essentially. So it gave us these parenthesis strings, right? So here it's another example. So this is the given parenthesis string. This is input string. So now we are again want to remove minimum number of parentheses, but still want to make it a valid string. So I can delete this parenthesis string, right? And then this one will give me this remaining string is a valid parenthesis string, which is noted here, right? This is the same string. Okay. Or another possibility that I can do is I can delete this parenthesis, right? Now again it will give me a valid parenthesis string, opening bracket, closing bracket, closing bracket, opening bracket, closing bracket. So this is a valid parenthesis string now, right? How many deletions did we do? One deletion we did, right? For both the cases. So this is the another possibility, right? So these are the two possible valid parenthesis string after we have done one deletions, right? One deletions. So these are the minimum number of deletions we can do and still make a valid parenthesis string from this given input string. So this is what we want to find out. We want to find out the strings after that minimum number of deletions. Okay, so this is what the problem says. So I hope you understood this problem, what the problem is saying clearly now with these examples. So now how can we solve this coding problem? So one important thing here to understand is they are asking us to do it in minimum. This minimum word is very important, right? Minimum number of removals you have to do, right? So one possibility to do that using minimum number of removals is we can use a technique like BFS, right? BFS allows us to do in a minimum iterations. So we can do something similar to BFS then, right? So BFS stands for breadth first search, breadth first traversal, also known as level order traversal. But now how will we do BFS here? So we can do BFS in the way is we can take this input string, right, and we can start cutting this string. We can start simulating removal of one character and add the strings into the queue, correct? So for example, I can remove this first character, right? And I can add this remaining string into the queue, right? So this string I can add. So I hope it's clear. Now I can also try to remove this one character. I can add this remaining string into the queue, right? And BFS starts on the iterations, right? Like level by level. So this is our first level we are doing. We are removing one character. Next time I'll try to remove this one character, add the remaining string into the queue, this one character, and lastly this one character, right? So these are all possibility that I can do. So these are some stack traces that is shown here, right? So these are the possibilities that we can do. So total characters are 7, so there are 7 possibilities, right? So this is first 1 2 3 4 5 6 and 7. So these are the 7 possibilities of removing one character from this string, correct? Okay, so this is just a stack trace that I have shown you here. Now we'll add that strings into the queue in the BFS, right? In the next iteration, we will start processing these strings. So these strings we will process in the next iteration, these strings, correct? And we also have a we'll create one set which will keep track of the already processed strings, right? So that we don't want to reprocess the same strings again and again, right? Now when we are processing these strings, we will come to know that we'll also write one helper function that will tell us whether the string is a valid parenthesis string or not, right? Correct. So these kind of strings are valid. So this string is a valid parenthesis string, for example, right? So if I pass a string, it will tell me whether it's valid or not, correct? So in this case, when I am processing this string through BFS, then it will tell me that it's a valid string. When I am processing this string, it will tell me this is a valid string, right? For example, right? So these two strings, I will capture it in my output. Once I find out any of these strings, right, like this, I will for that iteration. Okay, so this is one very important thing, that when I'm processing iteration, I'm processing all these strings in that iteration, right? All these strings, 7 strings, for example, right? So it means that if I find one string in my output, I will still process other strings for that iteration, right? So all these strings I will process irrespective of how many I find valid parentheses, right? And then next time I will create one flag that will tell me that I already found the answer, basically, correct? So if my this list gets populated, this result list I'll create. If I find the answer, I don't have to go to the further BFS iterations because I already found the answer. If I keep going further through BFS, that's not going to help us, right? Because we want minimum number of removals. So we already found the minimum number of removals. Now I can still keep going and I can keep getting the valid parentheses, but I'm doing more than minimum number of removals, right? That's not what I want. I already found the minimum number of removals here, right? These two. So I'm going to stop after these two I got, right? Okay, so this way the BFS can help us uh, removing invalid parentheses in a minimum number of iterations, right? Okay, so I hope it's very clear to you now, and you also understood how the BFS is helping us to find out our answer in minimum number of iterations, right? Okay, so let's go ahead, take a look at the Java code so you can clearly understand how to implement this logic in Java. So before we start looking into our main method, I'll show you this helper method. So this helper method is valid, it's checking if the given string is a valid parenthesis string or not, right? So we'll create one count, it is 0. We'll convert the string into character array, right? So this character array we will start processing. If it is an opening bracket, we will increment the counter. If it is a closing bracket, we will decrement the counter, right? If counter goes less than 0, right, this is important, then it's not a valid parenthesis string. For example, if you have a string like this, let's say, right, your counter will go less than 0, so it's not a valid parenthesis string, right? At the end, we will always check count must be 0. If count is 0, then only it's a valid string, right? Okay, so this is the helper method which can help us do a quick check whether the given string is a valid parenthesis string or not. Okay, so that we will use it from our main method. So this is our main method, remove invalid parenthesis. String s is given to us. This one is going to return list of strings after the minimum number of removals, right? The valid parenthesis strings after minimum number of removals. So we'll create one list of strings. We'll call it as result, which is an array list that we will return at the end. This one is a basic check. If s is null, then we'll return the empty list, right? In that case, now we will create a visited strings hash set, right? So that when we are actually processing one string, then we are just going to store it in this visited string, so that we don't want to again process the same string, right? So it's better optimization mechanism. So now we'll create a queue which will hold strings, right? Queue is essentially a linked list in Java, and this is a java.util.queue. So now we will start adding the original given string into the queue. This is the starting point for the BFS, right? And we will also add that string into the visited strings, because now we are processing it now, right? So boolean found is false. So found flag, I am going to use it to understand if I find the answer for the problem, right? Once I find the answer, I don't want to keep going through the BFS, right? Because once we find out the answer for one iteration, then we will process those strings for that iteration and stop, basically, right? Okay, so let's go ahead. So this is the place where BFS starts now, right? So queue is not empty. We'll keep processing the strings. So we'll remove the string from the queue. We'll check if this string is a valid string or not, right? If it is a valid string, then we will add it into our result list, and we will mark our flag to true. It means that we found the answer, right? If we found the answer here, right? And if answer is found, then we will continue, right? Okay, so after that we will start going through this for loop, right, from 0 to s dot length I plus plus. Now we are simulating this thing, that we are actually simulating removing one character from this string, correct? So for example, we are simulating that we are removing first character, then second one, then third one, then fourth one, and so on, right? So that's what we are simulating here. So when we want to remove the character from that parenthesis string, it may be possible that the character is alphabet like A or something, right? So we are not interested in removing A, right? We are only interested in removing opening a bracket or closing bracket, round bracket, right? So if it is not opening or closing bracket, then we will simply continue in this for loop. Then we don't want to do anything. If it is like character like A, B or C, no need to do anything. We'll just continue in that case. Now let's say we are actually finding out a character which is a opening or closing bracket. Now we want to simulate that removal. So we can use a substring method for simulating the removal, right? So if it is a ith character we want to remove, then we'll do the substring from s dot substring from 0 to I plus s dot substring I plus 1, right? So this is the way you can simulate removing ith character. You will get a new string which is temp, right? Now if this string is not already processed, right, how we will check it? Because we'll check it in our visited strings set, right? If it's not there, then we want to process it. So we want to add it to the queue, and we also want to add it to the visited string set, right? So that this string can be processed further, right? Okay, at the end you will just return the result list, which will give us this for example, two strings after one parenthesis removal. In this case, one parenthesis removal is good enough, so we are getting the valid parenthesis string. If one is not enough, then you will start removing two characters, then you will start removing three characters. You will do this until you find out some valid parenthesis string, right? And BFS guarantees that we will be able to find out minimum number of that removals, right? So that is what the importance of the BFS, because it goes level by level. Okay, so let's go ahead, run this code, make sure it gives us correct answers. So this is the first example, as you can see here. So we'll take a look here. So as you can see, we are getting correct answer here, right? So these are the same answers which are matching. This is the second example. Again, we are getting correct answer. As you can see in the expected output and our output is same. Third example, we are getting empty string because it's not possible basically in this case to get any valid parenthesis, right? As you can see, submit this code to the Leetcode, make sure it gets accepted. So as you can see, the code is successfully accepted by the Leetcode. It is 66.37% faster on the performance side and 34.63% faster on the memory usage, which is a pretty good solution to solve this Facebook coding interview problem on Leetcode 301, remove invalid parenthesis. Another very likable, important, hard coding problem on Leetcode. So I hope you understood this problem and you understood this logic, and you also understood how BFS has helped us in solving this problem and do this solving using minimum number of removals. So I'm going to add this Java solution code in my GitHub repository and give you the link of this code so you can check it out. There are lots of other important algorithms and Java solutions already implemented and available there for you. Don't forget to check them out. They are also quite important ones from interview perspective. If you like the Java solutions in the GitHub repository, consider giving it a star on the GitHub repository. That would be great. If you are new to this channel, we have created a very important coding playlist to help your interview rounds. It is called as Leetcode and Leetcode Solutions. There are more than 200 most frequently asked very important coding interview problems for you under one playlist. Those problems are asked by Google, Facebook, Amazon, Apple, Microsoft, Yahoo many times in their interviews. They are very important problems. Make sure you go through them, understand them well. If you go through those playlists, you are going to understand and learn a lot of data structures, algorithms, problem solving, logic building, Java programming and coding. It will also help you learn lots of new techniques, lots of new ways of different varieties of computer science related problem solving there. So make sure you check out those solved coding problems. The name of the very important playlist is Leetcode and Leetcode Solutions. Now, if you are a fresher, junior level developer and you want to practice more coding problems, to help your practicing purpose, we have created 3 other playlists for you here. The names of those playlists are Code Forces, Code Chef, at Coder. Code Forces, Code Chef, at Coder. All in all, more than 800 different varieties of problems are here to help your interview preparation and learning process. If you like this video, if you like this Java solution where we have used BFS to solve this hard coding problem, remove invalid parentheses, then please give it a thumbs up to the video, give it a like to the video, subscribe to this channel. Subscription is very important because that's how the videos can reach to other people, so others will also be able to watch and learn from these videos. So click on the bell notification icon button right away so you won't miss any important postings from this channel. We often create and post videos to help others in their interview preparation and learning process. There are lots of important videos that we have created that you can use to prepare well for your interview rounds. You can also use them to learn more data structures and algorithms. Those videos, those problems discusses more about graphs, matrices, binary search trees, breadth first search, depth first search, cadence algorithm, binary search algorithm, Kruskal's algorithm, Dijkstra algorithm, sliding window algorithm. There are also lots of important problems available on this channel about data structures, including stacks, queues, priority queues, hash table, hash map, tree set, hash set, linked hash map, linked hash set, arrays, linked list. All those problems are here to help your interview preparation and learning process. If you like this video, if you find this video helpful, then do subscribe to this channel, share these videos with all your friends and colleagues so they will also watch and learn from these videos. Apart from solved coding problems, there are also other auxiliary helpful interview related videos we have created to help freshers and junior level developers here. For example, frequently asked Java telephonic interview questions and how to answer them. Java design patterns, Java architecture, SQL programming questions to the freshers, where they will give you database tables, they will ask you to write SQL queries, where you may have to use different database concepts like inner join, outer join, left outer join, right outer join, aggregate operations, group by having clauses, different where clause conditions. Everything is explained in those videos step by step. So you can also solve those kind of SQL programming problems, and you also can write down those kind of SQL queries. There are also problems and videos that discusses recently asked questions about Unix. Those questions discusses Unix commands, Unix utilities, shell scripting questions. All are here to help your interview preparation and learning process. If these videos on this channel are helping your learning process, you are learning new techniques, more problem solving along with data structures, algorithms and their usage in computer science, then please do leave your messages, your feedback, your comments below these videos. Your messages, your feedback, your comments all are highly appreciated, very important and valuable for us. They increase our motivation to create more quality content videos. So please leave your messages, your questions, your feedback, and how these videos are helping you in your comments here below. Uh, Click on the subscribe button, click on the bell notification icon button, so you will always receive immediate notifications from this channel. Keep learning, keep coding, keep solving more varieties of coding problems, and most importantly, keep your learning process going on continuously. And thanks for watching these videos.